Last year I posted a video showing how to create an ambient guitar drone using a window fan. I was reminded of this recently, and on a beautiful, breezy day I decided to take the concept to the next level and let the windy weather create a full-length ambient soundscape. Here's how I did it. First, I connected my portable USB audio interface to my laptop, a MacBook Pro, and I took it all outside. I then used two capos, attached them onto my Telecaster Baritone to create an open chord. In this case, the Baritone version of Dadgad tuning. I then took the Telecaster outside and I plugged it into the computer. I then started recording. I let it go for 17 minutes. Phew, okay. The 17 minutes are up. Let's check out what I did with the results. The first step was to take the recorded audio and pull it into Logic Pro 10. And here you can see, 17 minutes. Pretty long, huh? Let's take a brief listen to see what I captured from the guitar outside. All right, kind of odd sounding. It is dry. There are no effects on this audio. Let's check this out. Here's some more. Here's a sharp percussive tone. Yep. That's a sharp percussive tone. Here's another one here, maybe not so sharp. All right, so I have 17 minutes of this. 17 minutes is a little bit too long. So what I decided to do was chop up the audio, cut out a lot of the very quiet parts, and bring this thing a little bit more under control in terms of the overall length. Okay, here's the audio chopped up with all kind of the boring parts cut out, at least what I thought were the boring parts. We're down now to about 9 minutes, 24 seconds. So I chopped quite a bit out. Let's check it out here. It's still dry. Kind of boring, but kind of cool that the wind was creating these chords. All right, you know what's going to happen next. I've got some effects queued up. Let's go through the effects and see what I'm going to do to take this mess and turn it into an ambient soundscape. The first effect up is the compressor. So what you'll notice here, I've got a lot of quiet parts and I've got some loud parts. I want to smooth that out. So let me turn this on. I've got the threshold set to negative 35.5 dB, ratio 3.9 to 1. A little bit of makeup gain. You can see the attack pretty quick, release pretty slow. And let's kind of check that out and see what it does. Okay, so you can see some gain reduction here happening. And if we take it to a quiet part, check this out. Yeah, now, if you compare it to the audio a few seconds ago, it's definitely louder in the quiet parts. Let's go from quiet to loud. So cool, not too bad there. The next thing I wanted to do was control my EQ a little bit. Let's get rid of the compressor. Pull up a channel EQ. And there were some things I didn't like about the tone. I didn't like some of the brightness in the tone. Yeah, it's kind of harsh, not that great. Also, there's a lot of low end, and then there was a kind of a wolf tone. Let me turn this on here so you can kind of see it. See that peak there in the frequency? Okay, so I'm going to play this again. So what, just so you can hear it again without me talking, but I pulled down the lows a little bit. I pulled down frequency about 335 hertz, and I did a high shelf and knocked out a lot of the highs. So check this out. All right, so that's a lot mellower. You can't really hear the high frequency. The low parts are going to be a lot mellower too. All right, now we're going to move away from the stock Logic plugins. I did use some other plugins on this one. The next plugin in line is the Waves automatic double track, the ADT, and I used the Extreme Grime vocal phasing preset, and all I did was pan it all the way out right and left to create a little bit more of a stereo effect. The other thing you can hear also is I added in some drive. Actually, the drive is part of the grime in the preset, so there's some drive going on, so you can hear a little distortion. Cool. Okay, so that's the real ADT. So we've got compression, EQ, some automatic double tracking. Now I want some delay designer. And I used the Spiderwebs preset. I thought it sounded great on this. Just left it as is. Check this out. Yeah, all of a sudden that boring little wind power guitar got a lot more interesting. Okay, so that's Delay Designer, the Spiderwebs preset. By the way, I just want to make it clear, this delay is part of Logic Pro 10. It's not an aftermarket or third-party delay. Now, there's a little bit of magic going with another third-party plugin. This is the Audio Damage EOS Reverb plugin. This thing is super cool. And it's not that much money. It's definitely worth checking out. I think it's audiodamage.com. I'll put a link in the video description below. So anyhow, I set this to the Super Hall setting, made it a really big room, 5.5 second delay, a bunch of pre-delay. Check out the diffusion, very diffuse, a lot of attack. And this delay allows you to create modulation. So check that out. A lot of modulation going on. So let's hear this now. Oh yeah. I think I'm getting a soundscape going here. So I've got compressor, EQ, automatic double tracking, delay, and a reverb. I decided I needed a little bit more compressor going on. And in this case, I've got -25. The ratio is 6:6. What I really wanted to do was not make it louder. I just wanted to do some more smoothing. I found that the reverb in the loud parts was getting a little out of control, so I'm using this compressor to control the reverb. Okay, so if you've never done this, using multiple compressors sometimes can be a real help. You can compress your signal early in the chain to get rid of some of the egregious peaks, do processing, and then compress the process signal to do a little more smoothing. Final two plugins, let me get rid of these, are actually on my master channel. The first is the Waves V-Comp Bus Compressor. And again, I'm using it for overall smoothing. Check this out. All right, so pretty cool, just a little bit smoother. And then finally, Another Waves plugin. You can tell I'm a Waves kind of guy. I'm using the Waves Kramer Master Tape plugin. I've demoed this a couple of times on some videos, and I'm using the Glued Crunch preset and just adjusted the record and playback level a little bit and brought the flux down. I didn't like, it was a little too much crunch, but I kind of like this. Sounds pretty good. All right, you can hear how it kind of smooths. Again, it's a smoothing effect, that kind of tape smoothing thing going on. There is just a little bit of grit that it's adding, not much, but just a little bit. Let's check out the beginning and see what we have. Here we go. Here's the final climactic ending. Oh yeah, like that. Isn't that cool? And I didn't even compose it. All I did was throw my guitar out. Well, not literally, but I put my guitar outside and let the wind have its way with the guitar. And then use a little processing to turn it into something pretty daggone interesting. Hope you found this useful. And if you're interested in more videos, ambient guitar music, ambient guitar recording techniques and playing techniques, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I've got weekly content coming, and I think you'll find it interesting. Secondly, if you want to hear this whole ambient soundscape on its own, I'm going to provide a link right here, and then also in the video description to a companion video that's just the ambient soundscape, all 9+ minutes of its glory. And as always, I'll see all of you on the next video. Thanks.